Prabhu, please give me access to share.
Yeah. 1 second. You are already co-host, right? Gaurachandra Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, I've given him that access.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So, shall we start, Prabhu? Gaurachandra Prabhu?
We are able to see him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm asking Gaurachandra Prabhu.
Yeah, that's right. I'm also like trying to just see.
Yeah. Live done, no?
Live done.
Okay.
His video is on, but we can't see him. I think he has some connection. Let's give him a couple of minutes.
No, you should be able to see me.
Yeah, I'm able to see. Video is okay, but background light can be a little, but otherwise okay.
Yes, now it is. Yeah, this is perfect.
So, Gaurachandra Prabhu, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. So today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Gaurachandra Gopinath Prabhu to enlighten us, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrtha. I think this is the last session, Prabhu, supposed to be.
This is a beginning, Prabhu.
Perfect. Okay. So thank you all for joining. We'll continue now. Hare Krishna. Gaurachandra Gopinath Prabhu, over to you.
Just give me a second. Where is this video is playing? Just give me a second.
Sound is coming.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadudam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshadarine Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpataru Besha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate grim Yatkripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Hare Krishna, welcome all of you. Today's Prabhupada Lilamrtha. I seek all the Vaishnavas' blessings before I speak anything. This is purely for my purification. So if there are anything I might speak which is inappropriate, please forgive me. And this is the chapter, the last chapter of the Prabhupada Lilamrtha, a world tour. And this probably I may not be able to comprehend everything in the same session. This session I will cover half of the topic, and we will see how does it go. Next week some devotees can take, or we will see. So today's topic is that how Prabhupada is, like, as the title suggests, is taking a world tour. Prabhupada had made many trips around the world in 10 years. And this is, I think it is the 8th such trip Srila Prabhupada is traveling around the world. So you go to different countries. It's just not that round trip. You will go up and down to different places, and he's going to cover some 6 to 7 countries. So that's one thing, and we will see how Prabhupada Lilamrtha. Okay, so this is the sequence of events in this last chapter. January 1st to 24, 1975, Srila Prabhupada is in Bombay, trying to get the no objection certificate for Bombay temple. So he postponed his world trip, just waiting for this to complete. Then he would start his world trip. Then first stop, he would go Jan 25th and 26th. He landed in Hong Kong for 2 days. Then another 2 days he was in Tokyo, Japan, 27 to 28. So I'll be covering up to this first 3, up to 28. And the rest we need to see how we can cover it in the next week. Our 29 to 8th February, he's there in the Honolulu. Then he goes to Los Angeles in February 9th and 10th. Then there was also invitation from South American devotees. So Prabhupada goes to Mexico 11th and 18th up to 25th to different countries. Then he comes back to Miami, then Atlanta, February 28th. So that's how the entire chapter is divided. But I'll be taking only the first top 3, Bombay, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. Then we will see. So before that, I just want you to see this video clip of Srila Prabhupada traveling various globe. There's a devotees have captured this wonderful video. Let me know if you are able to hear, and let me reshare. Share sound. Okay. Not able to hear any.
Yeah, we can hear, bro.
It's short. This is for the last 1955 to 1976. Now God is moving around. Also, places in the background. New Zealand, Hong Kong, This is the 1975 is what we are going to see. Tokyo, Japan, Hawaii, Mexico, Venezuela, USA, United Kingdom, and Prabhupada will come back to Mayapur Festival. This is all 2 months time. March, January to March. Mauritius. So you can see that from 1965 to 77, 12 times he went around the globe. He visited 25 countries, Australia 6 times, Canada 4 times, Fiji 2 times, France 6 times, Germany 3 times, Hong Kong, India, and USA. India is the maximum. After that, the UK is the maximum number of places Prabhupada visited, number of times visited. And interestingly, he went to Iran, Italy, Kenya as well, Philippines, So these are the places Prabhupada went around the globe. This shows that how even though Prabhupada at very, very old age, and he could able to travel to many places. Sometime we go out. So last week I went out to see my son. It was 2 days trip, but it was so exhausting that I came and took 1 week rest. So, but you see Prabhupada here, his day schedule never changed. His activity never changed. He started translating wherever he go. And we will see further in this conversation that Prabhupada wanted to take rest and he wanted to complete the books. But at the same time, he had anxiety to improve, spread this Krishna conscious movement. So Prabhupada made a team, the translator, type recorder, his machine, everything he bundled. And wherever he goes, he started translating. So that's the magnanimous of the Prabhupada, to just show his world trip. So we will be covering, as I mentioned, the 1975 Bombay, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. So this is in Bombay. These incidents are happening. So in Bombay, mostly what's happening is Srila Prabhupada wanted to see the temple NOC is getting. There are many devotees started calling him for different countries, but however Prabhupada said, let me complete this let me complete this NOC, then he would go. Most of the time he was planning end of January, but around 25th of January he got the no clearance. So Prabhupada was ready to travel all over the place. So the plan is that January would start, then come back for March to India. That's because there is a Gaurapurnima festival, and also he was intent to inaugurate Krishna Balram Mandir in Vrindavan. So there are thousands of devotees already planned their trip. So Prabhupada needs to be quick, and he also within 2 months he have to cover maximum places, and they need to come back for March to Mayapur as well as Vrindavan. So all the devotees were eagerly waiting to attend this festival. In fact, 1974, Prabhupada was desiring to open the Vrindavan temple, but it was not completed. Also, Prabhupada fell sick. That time, the devotees were announced to do 24/7 Kirtan to pray for the recovery. After that, Prabhupada is recovered. And this time, he made sure that, he will open this temple in the March. So that was the plan. And also, is close to his heart the project of Mumbai. So he was fighting all those cases that happened. Now they're waiting for the the NOC to come. So it was little struggle, but it did came invariably. Meanwhile, Dayananda Goswami Maharaj from South America, yes, wrote to Prabhupada saying that please visit us, Mexico. So Prabhupada said, yes, I will go to first Tokyo, Hong Kong, Tokyo, then I'll go to Honolulu. From there, I will come to Mexico City, then we can meet. And Prabhupada said the NOC is getting delayed, but as soon as I would travel. So actually, Prabhupada, initially was telling all his disciples, please retire from all this management headache. I want to write more books and translate more books for you peacefully in one place. That will be accomplished easily. But what happened is, Prabhupada also felt, oh, my disciples are very new. I need to go multiple times to make sure that, I need to strengthen their execution of Krishna consciousness. That's also is important. In my absence, they will, how does it will grow? So Prabhupada started, doing both. He traveled, but he also made sure that, Prabhupada had, jet lag, advanced age. There are a lot of custom clearance, immigration, passport, long waiting in the airport. In spite of that, Prabhupada ensured that he made his schedule. So Prabhupada always used to have a dictating machine, a reference book from which he will translate. He will have one secretary and one personal servant. There will be one student, Sanskrit student, Nityam, and Paramahamsa Swami is the personal servant. Is the personal servant, and secretary is Paramahamsa Swami. And Nitai Prabhu is what he would travel. This is his paraphernalia. He would travel along with all of them wherever there is opportunity. Prabhupada start translating. Doesn't matter, So in between, there's so much turmoil happening. Different big projects is carrying on, and you will also see today a very very important chapter in Germany how people were filing a wrong case, and there were court case with Germany people. We will go in detail. So like that, Prabhupada was also undergoing so much turmoil, so much problem around the world when he was traveling. So much problem is coming to him, but still he was very steady in focus on giving this wonderful literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. So when I see that the effort on which Srila Prabhupada, the sacrifice what he has done, I don't know, there is no words that how seriously we should take this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya and at least give a reading what Prabhupada has wrote, for which he sacrificed the entire life, which is, I don't know, you can't describe in words. So the first stop is Bombay. Prabhupada went to Hong Kong, and Paramahamsa Swami, he was his secretary. He was recalling how Prabhupada was so funny in the airports, especially when he was waiting. Many people will come. They don't know Swamiji. They just shook hand with Prabhupada and just started casually talking. Sometimes the devotees would ask different questions and Prabhupada give a humorous answer. So in Hong Kong, he was there for 2 days. Actually, Trivikrama Swami is the only person who is staying in the Hong Kong and preaching. And Panchadravida Swami, who was in Bangkok, he just came to meet Srila Prabhupada. And also there is Sudama Viprama Swami. That point in time he quit ISKCON, but he also came to see Srila Prabhupada. So the major program was the Hilton Convention Hall. That's a big hotel where Prabhupada was invited to speak, and there are about 200 to 300 guests for whom Srila Prabhupada talked about the importance of Bhagavad Gita. He said, if you want to away from Maya, get out of Maya's activities, then you have to take Krishna conscious. There is no way out. So it is a scientific movement. Anyone intelligent, thoughtful person must take Krishna conscious, otherwise he is doomed. This is a message he spoke in the Hilton's Convention Hall. So these 2 days, Prabhupada, they were trying to engage him in this such kind of a preaching program. Also, Prabhupada, as usual, go for a morning walk in the nearby park. But this was very much city, heart of the city, so much crowded, and Prabhupada did not like it. So he said, it is hellish. This park is hellish. But generally, Prabhupada likes the morning walk in the park. So then this Sudama Vipra Swami, who was initially with us, ISKCON, and he was, while during walk, he was sharing his realization. There was sometime floods in Mayapur. These are initial days I'm talking about. This devotees has to take little bit higher shelter where the water is not there. So sometime, most of the time, it is roof. But the problem is that in the roof, I was yesterday giving class in Srimad Bhagavatam class in the temple also. I was narrating this wonderful experience of Mayapur, that there will be a lot of snakes, in the rooftop when it especially rains. There are so many, snakes will be there. So the devotees has to share, or they have to chase away the snakes, and they have to take shelter of those roofs when it Mayapur floods, because there is no facility. And that's how the devotees were struggled. One time Srila Prabhupada was sitting in the toilet, and luckily one snake came inside the toilet, and Prabhupada just caught hold of the door, and he just, in between the cracks, he caught hold of the snake. So the half of the snake is inside, half of the snake body is outside. And it was hissing, and Prabhupada just holding it, and he called out, Jai Pataka. And Maharaj came, Guru Maharaj running came and saw the situation, and he took a stick and threw away snake. So there are many times when it was floods, right? We see in the rooftops and other places full of snakes. And it is Bhakti Chaur Maharaj says that there was not an incident anywhere, anytime, the snake harming the devotees. But yes, initial days were so much struggle, and Prabhupada was started asking every devotee who came in the morning walk, what is the most difficult thing you are sharing? So this was Sudama Viprama Swami Maharaj was telling how we are to chase away the snake and take shelter of the rooftops initial days. And there are, each devotee started narrating their own difficulties, and some devotees turned to Prabhupada, Trivikrama Swami. Prabhupada, what is that you want the most troublesome time? Prabhupada was silent for a moment. He thought through, then he said, better you don't ask. Because Prabhupada is full of life to implement this struggle. Everywhere, everything is struggle, right? From the ship getting a visa, coming to Boston, finding out a place to preach, put his foot everywhere. It's a problem after problem after problem. So Prabhupada, he said, just simply ignore it. Then in the Hong Kong, Prabhupada gave an important message, one important message, that this Hong Kong is an important place, don't leave it. Even one person comes to hear class, no problem, but you should continue to translate everything in Chinese, print Bhagavad Gita in Chinese, and wait for someday China will open, because that time China was closed, and Prabhupada wants to go and establish in China as well. So he said one day China will open and we can go in. So Hong Kong is the place where they can easily get into that. So that's why Prabhupada gave this important instruction. And actually, Panchadreda Swami, who was living in another place, he just came to visit Srila Prabhupada in the Hong Kong. So suddenly Prabhupada said, you will be the new center leader going forward in Hong Kong. Just before that, Maharaj, Panchadreda Swami Maharaj wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada saying that he want to visit India and other things. So Prabhupada approved, and he told him, you can come to India. So as soon as Prabhupada told this, and Maharaj was literally blank, and he said, he felt bewildered. What is this? I need to stay in Hong Kong, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, devotee must be like a reaping machine. If it is hell or heaven, you should be able to It's like for wheat and all, they would use this machine to take it out, reap the wheat. He said, hell or heaven, the machine will work. So similarly, devotees, doesn't matter they are in India or Hong Kong, they must to carry out. So immediately the devotees accepted. There was a different plan to go to India for Maharaj, but Prabhupada said it is not very important to go back to India. The only thing that is important is continuous service. The important thing was to distribute books in Hong Kong. Prabhupada told him it doesn't matter whether people come to programs or not. Prabhupada was very clear. You want to go capture the Chinese devotee. So today there are so many Chinese devotees are there. It's all the hard work of these Maharajas. They sacrifice. They don't have any plan. Whatever Prabhupada says on the spot, yes, Prabhupada. There is no question. And there is devotee coming or no devotees coming, they have to print books and distribute. They have to endeavor. So Prabhupada was very clear on this Bhagavad Gita distribution, Bhagavad Gita. There are so many places this literature saved. So today also we will see how the books have saved the mission in especially the German Yatra. So we will see a little bit detail today. I'll spend some time. So then Prabhupada said somehow should publish books in Chinese language and distribute them. In this way, the work would go on. So this is what the major thing happened in Hong Kong episode. So there are a few classes Prabhupada gave. Probably if time permits later, I'll play those videos, short videos. But we'll move on to the next country, Tokyo, along with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is traveled to Tokyo. So as soon as Prabhupada arrived, and this Japanese immigration were suspicious, they were taking a lot of time giving to visa to him. Finally, they said 2-day transit visa we will give. So he was not properly received in the airport by these authorities. But however, Prabhupada had tie-up with Dai Nippon printers. Even much before in the USA, he was trying to get Macmillan publication or any other publication. First, he was connected to Japan, and from Japan, most of the books were printed, and they were even like they were more favorable. And Prabhupada got it done a lot of things, the initial printings from Dai Nippon. So that way, they are the valued customer, ISKCON, and they sent a proper person with Mercedes Benz with a uniform driver, and they respected Prabhupada, and they drove to Prabhupada to ISKCON center. And so this Dai Nippon was initially Prabhupada helped before setting up all this BBT, and Prabhupada gave everything to this Dai Nippon, and they could efficiently turn around things and print a lot of books for Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was as a seasoned traveler, he knows every place, locality, what the language they use, some of the stories of the locals, and so Prabhupada was very comfortable. But in spite of his traveling everywhere, Prabhupada was remained fixed in transcendental consciousness. His lecture on Bhagavad Gita in Tokyo were the same as Hong Kong or in America. Prabhupada never changed irrespective of the location. The Bhagavad Gita message is same, and he continued to deliver the same message. The message is that surrender unto Krishna was universally and urgently applicable in every town and village. But sometimes Srila Prabhupada would spice his talks with the local references. So Prabhupada, no time, place, and circumstances, but the key message was take up to this Krishna conscious, surrender. And that was the message irrespective of any places event. So then there is a detailed discussion about Srila Prabhupada preaching in Japan. So Prabhupada was giving us in the temple hall of ISKCON, and he was telling Prabhupada, everyone was suffering, that is the fact. He told the example of this Dai Nippon. Two directors came and met Srila Prabhupada just before that. And he said they were explaining, they were the big businessmen. They have 200,000, 2 lakh employees they manage. But there's so much problem in the printing industry. They have to work hard. So even as a big personality is such a big company, they have a problem. So there is nothing that, there's nobody can escape from this problem. Everyone is suffering. So then he says, one who understands this called Sura, or a civilized man. Otherwise, he's called Sura. So then Srila Prabhupada was trying to walk in the Japan. Again, there was bitter cold, so much cold that Prabhupada could not able to go. It was very harsh climate, and Prabhupada utilizing that opportunity also to preach. And he said, see, this winter comes, season comes, see doshana sukodakodaha. So Prabhupada started giving purport for that shloka. It's really chilly cold, it causing so much suffering. What is pleasure? Prabhupada says absence of suffering. Sometimes we feel, oh, I'm relaxed because I don't have pain. Then we say I'm comfortable, but it is not. It's absence of suffering. So how this is in sequence coming in pleasure and suffering? So Prabhupada started explaining to those devotees. Then he was asking, what is the danger in Japan? And Prabhupada was asking again, repeatedly to all the people who are there. So Prabhupada said, you got many times experience of earthquake, do you not? So Prabhupada asking, Japan is known for earthquake. And probably Sankarshan Priya Prabhu would tell so many stories. He was in Japan. I also there for 3 months. Earthquake means I remember my personal thing. So one time what happened, I was there for 3 months in a business trip and I was in the hotel. Most of the time I didn't get that early. On that day we want to go out something, see Mount Fuji or something. So I have to start early as 3 o'clock. So I was taking bath, shower, I was in the toilet. There was a few moment, it was just swing like this. I was shocked and I immediately called the receptionist. Then he said, sir, how long you been staying in this hotel? I said, last 1 month. So probably you are new to Japan. Every day earthquake happens. Every day it swings. Probably you did not notice. Only you're today noticing it. So it is everyday affair. They don't, anything Richter scale 2.5, 3 like that. It will every day happen. Minor tremor keep on happening in Japan. It's just that I didn't realize it. And this is the challenge with Japan. And they all earthquake-proof buildings and things like that they make. But I didn't know. I was so ignorant and he was so shocked also. And then I thought every day I could not able to sleep. So every day there is a turmoil, I can sense it. So that's how the Japan operates. So Prabhupada was telling what is the danger in Japan, and devotee said the earthquake. So then he said, what Japanese, you all Japanese boys do, girls do when you experience an earthquake. So I was literally screaming and shouting and calling the receptionist, saying that why didn't you inform me? You're supposed to inform the international guest of what is happening. Then that guy was really cool. He said, this is nothing. Every day it happens. But sir, you didn't notice it. So the Japanese were really cool. But Prabhupada, he want to bring live to the conversation. Then he said, if it would have happened in US, what happened? Everyone will scream and scout. They make big fun fuss out of it. And all these Japanese devotees started laughing. And they said, naturally, yes, they might remember the Lord and they might say, God save us. And they might scream and they do whatever it is. So like that, Prabhupada was explaining everywhere there is a danger. He says, I'm an old man. I'm become very old. Everybody want to be youthful, but when old age comes, diseases, I need 4 people to carry me, do all the activities. Otherwise, I will not be able to do. Similarly, says, in Tokyo, there's a greatest danger unless you don't take to Krishna consciousness. It is very difficult. Prabhupada is very practical, connecting to the local environment, which people can assimilate. So this was common. The earthquake is something common in Japan every day. So then the Prabhupada says you're building a skyscraper buildings in the Tokyo, big buildings everywhere, all over the world. And you're trying to live very comfortably. But one day you have to die. This is ashashvatam, dukhalayam, ashashvatam, not permanent. Those who understand, then he is intelligent. Then he says, those who don't understand is called asura. So by the grace of Krishna conscious movement, the Asuras were becoming Suras, Prabhupada concluded. For this, he was traveling to give them the education to understand what is the absolute truth. Only if one took to Krishna conscious could become Sura, a perfect man, and make his life successful. So Prabhupada gave 2 or 3 lectures in Japan. Next topic, he always connected to saying why to take Krishna consciousness, the temporary world body. The second aspect Prabhupada angle he gave is that there must be a creator behind any creation. So these are the 2 themes Prabhupada was juggling most of the time. And the second topics what also Prabhupada talked about, there is a design. So somebody says that, you have a nice local government organization, there is a city council, everything is operating, somebody is controlling it. Then why is there such a big entire cosmetic world order is working nicely and you don't agree on the controller? So that was Prabhupada's argument. And Prabhupada also challenged the audience, and saying, what is your logic? Then, well, the devotee said, we don't see the controller. At least in the city municipal, we see somebody, but the universal controller, we don't see them. That's a problem. Then Prabhupada's counter argument was, you never seen Japanese governors, presidents all the time, but you don't conclude that there is no government, right? So he is there as a president or a supreme head. Similarly, there are so many things which you don't see, but it does not mean that you don't believe. So similarly, Prabhupada was telling that, there is a personality you don't see, you need to qualify that. And also Krishna is not alone. Krishna means he has a lot of energies. Just like that, he says, it's a wonderful line, I'll read it out for you. Just like a tiny person like me, Bhaktivedanta Swami, I have this movement and I am not alone. I have got so many assistants all over the world. I was the originator, I was the founder, so I am not alone. Similarly, as I have expanded with my disciples in so many ways, in so many places, I can expand. I'm a common man. But how can Krishna expand? We can just imagine. He's the Supreme Lord, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. He can expand himself, but he is the only person is doing everything. Just like I am replying to dozens of letters from all over the world, trying to manage. Similarly, he is also maintaining alone Anantarupam by unlimited assistance. So Prabhupada was giving his example how he is sitting in one place with a couple of his disciples, is maintaining the entire ISKCON all over the world. Similarly, Krishna is behind everything and Krishna is managing the entire universe. So that's the analogy Prabhupada always try to explain to these devotees. So while there are a lot of letters coming in, Srila Prabhupada was replying to the mail. The one important mail arrived his visit of Japan. So that news was, it was a telegram, it was urgent message was given to Prabhupada. What is the message? The police in Germany had raided the ISKCON temple in Frankfurt and confiscated money from the bank accounts. They had trumped up charges of solicitation fraud, and mass propaganda war was mounting against Krishna conscious through inimical German media. When Prabhupada received a distressed letter from his leader in Germany, Hamsatuda, he asked that Hamsatuda come and meet him in Hawaii. So immediately Prabhupada told, please come and visit me to solve this problem in Germany. In fact, Prabhupada also been he was also been included in the list. Whenever he would land in Germany, the plan was to arrest him. So such a severe propaganda was happening, like they named as a cult, and all the false propagation was happening, and it was almost doomed in Germany that the Krishna conscious movement cannot progress. So what I will do is another 10-15 minutes. It is not there here, but I just want to call out the struggles which the German devotees was going through, some background about their struggle, initial days of struggle. Because most of the time when I read this Prabhupada, and Prasadishwar Prabhu was asking today, Prabhu, this is the last chapter, will you be able to complete today? I said, no, Prabhu, this is beginning. When after you listening this narration of this story, I felt it that, we not even started knowing Srila Prabhupada, and we just touched the scratches of the, Lilamrtha a little bit, but there's so many acharyas written, so many books, and Srila Prabhupada reading again gives a lot of immense strength to continue our Krishna consciousness. I was thinking after reading this chapter of this Germany episode, I was so comfortable in Krishna consciousness, comfortable, I've been pampered, we need to say, in Krishna consciousness. So much association, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya at comfortable hour your house, log in to the Zoom, go home Sunday, nice sumptuous feast, opportunity to do seva. You are so comfortable to perform your sadhana and things like that, no family issues, nice family, everything is perfect, and we are so comfortable is there. But when I read this chapter of Germany, then I realized we are not even following what Prabhupada said. sorry, I'm not following whatever Vivian Prabhupada said to a little extent. We are literally at the, I'm at the literally at the, insignificant. So I'll tell you this wonderful incident of Germany, what happened. So this was the initial days of German. The devotees were trying to spread Krishna consciousness. Week before this arrest, all those things happened. There are a few people who came discussed, the press reporters actually. They discussed as a devotee or they want seekers of spiritual knowledge. They came and stayed with the devotees for 2 weeks. They took a lot of pictures, information. So there was a political movement. There is one Christian church who has been in charge of anti-cult or something. So he didn't like it. There's a lot of money, book distribution happening. Money is coming to ISKCON. They want to somehow make false propaganda. So they sent these two people of the particular press and they collected, and next day after a week they were absconding. So but after that there's a big news report came saying that these are underworld mafia. They smuggle a lot of money, they do all illegal activity, and there are war criminals and whatever stories they can build. It was published in the newspaper. So immediately there was people were angry, and few other people were asked them to take action. So one peaceful day, all the devotees did Mangalarti. They were all taking breakfast. Then devotees just opened the door. Suddenly they saw so much flashing light and cars came. About 300 policemen, you don't believe, with full of protection, gas tiers, and guns and shields. Everything is as if something they're going to arrest a big gundas or something like that. Dawn, they're going to attack or going as a war. 300 policemen came, and they didn't even bother to wait, knock the door and open the door. They just smashed open the door and caught hold of thrashing all the devotees who were taking prasadam and putting on the floor and thrashing them and taking them away and breaking all the walls, mirror, whatever money collected, breaking the altar. And there were Matajis were their room, they're just pulling out the saris, and they were commenting on bird words, saying that these are all beautiful prostitute, whatever not. They can't hear, they were, the Matajis were polite, saying that you can't speak like that, but they started thrashing those Matajis, including a 6 or 7 month pregnant woman. She's been dragged on the stairs, pulled by the police, and his husband went and said, at least you can leave her. She's pregnant, you can leave her. For that, they smashed him again on the floor, beaten him for these words. And they dragged her also in the car. So everybody was taken to the police custody. The entire temple was, there was confiscated. All the bank accounts were frozen. There is no money. And they were all taken to the custody. And the devotees felt so much, somehow they got energy, I don't know where, and they started praying Nashima. And the devotees says that that's one of the best ever kirtan we ever had in our life, and it is still fresh in memory. So much enthusiasm, they were fearless, and they were just happily singing Nashima Arti and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so blissful they're going. The policemen's all fabricated, what is this happening? Why these guys are so happy? And they they'll call every one person, it's a spiritual name, because identifying legal names, spiritual name was little difficult for them to pronounce. They were calling one of the spiritual names, trying to identify that guy and trying to take fingerprints and things like that. So one devotee said, after taking fingerprints, I'm not this body. They're thinking I'm this body, I'm the soul. He was laughing after giving fingerprints, and this policeman's going crazy. And some of the devotees call the name, and everybody say Haribol for the devotee Jai. Then they said, they wrote in the record, Haribol is a secret word, they're using it. So they were completely confused about why these devotees are so enthusiastic. What are we do? These guys are freaking out, singing in the jail, and everybody is in the jail started, those were sleeping inmates and all, everybody got up and everybody is chanting with them. Such a crazy thing. So what they did is they left majority of the devotees on the day, but they did still capture 6 weeks arrest of the temple president and other people to torture them. Now, this is just a beginning. Now, then there is one person who was against all these devotees. He is the main person who was accused and was taking us to court and things like that. So they're in the media. Next day, they put some weapons somewhere in the godown. They said ISKCON is in charge of this godown. They whatever false propagation you can do, what you can imagine in the world, their underworld, dawn, criminals, whatever it is just going like a fire. The devotee is not able to go out because if go with shaven head and people started thrashing. And in fact, one person came with a machine gun and started shooting the temple. Luckily, the temple president just bent down and he could have able to save his life. That was the worst situation, but still, devotees would go out, distribute few books, collect money because they went to bank to take money. It was all frozen. Imagine the situation, such a difficult times going on. The entire process against them, entire population has been brainwashed, saying that ISKCON is a cult, and the court case was going on. It took 2-3 years to solve this problem, and devotees were on and off being trash taken whenever they distribute book, they take the money. It has been going on for 2-3 years. So also devotees also found one lawyer who can help anytime when the problem comes. They call the lawyer, she would come and bail them. Of course, few devotees they did not bail out for 6 weeks. They were in the custody. Later they've been done. So after 2 years, 78, what happened? There was a case. The case actually came to the court, and the person who is harassing the devotees, he said, "See, ISKCON people will not come." He was so confident, but the devotees came with a big band of kirtan in the court of the courtyard of the temple. Sorry, in the court, there were big kirtan happening with so much blissful, and they're distributing cookies, and they called as the devotees are cookies devotees because there's so much cookies they gave, so much thing they have to clean up. All the people were complaining, so much cookies they were distributing and happy and things like that. Meanwhile, the judge who was taking this case, he'd been patiently reading Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam for 1.5 years, and he understood this is a bona fide. So why I was telling this Srila Prabhupada books is important. Many cases in US also we have seen that they've gone through Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita. And last time also I told Prabhupada want to apply for a visa. Somebody is rejected in US. Then he gave these books and saying, see this value of these books. We should propagate these books. So Prabhupada was convinced this is message of Krishna and Krishna will protect. He's come in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this judge was reading all those things, and he also heard the arguments from the devotees, and the devotees were badly, pointing out the other person who was harassing us, saying that he's a mini Hitler, and he was done so much thing, and he was really wild in the courtroom, and he started beating those devotees in front of the judge. So the judge came to know what kind of allegations going on. Then they finally set free after 2-3 years of struggle. I'll just give a snippet of what is happening in the initial journey of German Yatra. You can read it. A lot of devotees written about initial pastimes of how the Germany Yatra came into picture. When I all see this, Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrtha, right? I felt it shamed, like, we are not so comfortable in Krishna conscious that, we don't need to worry about anything, right? But here there is a struggle to take Krishna conscious because it's very rare. They knew the value of it. The devotees undergone even the life threat. Somebody is shooting. The outside the people are not welcoming. In fact, some milk fan gas will overnight. They came and pulled out all the milk, gas line, everything. They cut off water, everything cut off because they don't want to support this kind of organization when the propaganda was going on. So the devotees were put into overnight, completely, fabricated story, and but still 2-3 years they struggled with confidence, patience, and they struggled to get it authorized. So much sacrifice has been done for Srila Prabhupada because they know the value of this Krishna conscious movement. So I also pray for me that all the devotees that I take up this Krishna conscious seriously, just not speaking, also help the humanitarian large and to save them, preach this Krishna conscious, and also preserve for our benefit. So this is the message I want to convey today, or takeaway for me personally is that, Prabhupada, irrespective of the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam, irrespective of wherever he was going, he was carrying his entire paraphernalia and he was trying to preach and adjust because so much turmoil going on. He also ensured that he gave time to his disciple to correct them, to become motivated. He traveled at the age of, very old age. How many times you saw the previous video of how Prabhupada was traveling around the globe, up and down. It's not just only, just going around, he go to Australia, Fiji, then he goes to Canada, then he goes to South America, then he, you name it. Iran also Prabhupada is gone. So much places Prabhupada, USSR, eh, China, he was waiting, he was touching almost Hong Kong, Indonesia, so many places Prabhupada covered, and Africa, so many places is covered. It's not that place where Prabhupada did not go, but it is in spite of his old age, he balanced both. He would have chosen to write all the books in Vrindavan, and he would have told Tamal Krishna Maharaj or any other GBC member to manage. But Prabhupada thought that it is his responsibility to So whenever he went, it is just 2-3 days visit, but Prabhupada would have seen previous reports. Prabhupada would open the temples in a week's time. So that's his potency, pureness. So we just covered today, as I mentioned, Hong Kong and Tokyo. January month, I literally covered. Honolulu, I have not even covered, but the next speaker can cover from January to Feb end of Srila Prabhupada visit. And then Prabhupada comes to Gaur Purnima festival. He opens Krishna Balram temple, and so many devotees are happy. So with this, I would stop here for any corrections.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Wonderful. As you rightly said, yes, this is the beginning. I think reading Srila Prabhupada books and understand the real crux of your message is that we need to understand what devotees have gone through, and what fruits we are enjoying today is the result of those sacrifices. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for enlightening us. Now, devotees can unmute themselves, can share the comments. Can somebody try unmuting? Just to make sure that is.
Yes, Prabhu, we can.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, wonderful narration. And so many things you're telling us, which is not there in Lilamrtha. And it's listening, goosebumps are coming, like how those devotees, they were in such a comfort zone, but they have had such a great faith in Srila Prabhupada, and then I think we don't even, I should tell, I don't even have 0.1% dedication. I only wish I could do more, Prabhu. Very nice. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Very nice narration. Thank you so much.
Every yatra has struggled. Even Africa yatra you take, Mataji was shot dead by the Gundas. There are so many devotees sacrifice their life. Salt bread, Russia. You take any yatra, it will not come out. In China also, Tamal Krishna Maharaj had spent his blood. So any yatra which has to come. In America also there was a court case. Prabhupada had so many issues to establish. It's not the cakewalk for Prabhupada just to establish. Bombay, he literally gave his blood in Bombay to fight the court case. Vrindavan also, it's not that easy to get that place. Local Rajavasis support was required. His godbrothers was not cooperating. Prabhupada, that's why I said ignore whatever difficulties I'm going through. Prabhupada did not even bother to utter it. And on top of it, he's struggling to translate the books. There is, people need to understand Sanskrit, and the printers were not cooperating. And he has to run around different printers to print the books. He would have written it, but who will print it? And Prabhupada made a huge task. We would have seen that episode also, Rameshwar Prabhu's episode, how these books were all turned around quickly to print. It was, and devotees were initiating. Some of the devotees are moving away from ISKCON. Some of them are, needs some Prabhupada help to come him multiple times to suggest him, help him, hold him. I don't know, like Prabhupada is, how he could able to manage all those things. But it's just that, we need to take at least to help gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Somehow our position, we can help him come out of a little bit of our comfort zone. We are not going to give our lives. We are not going to give away our wealth. We are not going to give away our family. We are not even going to give away anything. It's just that in a little bit of time for Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu, very nicely narrated, Prabhu. Thank
Yes,
you
Prabhu.
so much, Prabhu. We had very nice time in hearing the experiences, and Prabhupada, how hardship he has faced, everything, Prabhu. So nice of you. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you for the wonderful sharing of this. The theme must be appropriate to say coming out of comfort zone. And what is really amazes me every time when I hear these particular pastimes, it's like Prabhupada went to such places where any other, even spiritual leader, would dread to go. And with no facility, nothing, with complete surrender. I mean, he has complete faith in the holy name and he could do it, and only following the instruction of a spiritual master. That is really amazing. And as you said, I mean, even the Germany, how the devotees have been like, how much of unceasing faith in the holy name and in the instructions of Srila Prabhupada is like really amazing. Something to really not only learn, but put something into practice. It is a little bit. That's for me. And that's
That's Pranam.
How is it now, Prabhu, in Germany? The ISKCON movement is.
Yeah, you can preach. No problem.
Mhm.
So all Prabhupada did all the initiatives he did everywhere. All the forces will destroy ISKCON. In case anything is to happen, it is within the devotees. There's nothing else. So Prabhupada made a big fence as Kali cannot even enter. He's thousands miles away.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. There are a few comments on the chat
Chat box. Okay. Thank you, Saraswati Mataji. Uttara Mataji, thank you so much. Chaitanya Prabhu, Haribol. Sankarshan Prabhu, you want to share anything on the Tokyo episode? You've been there for many years. Okay.
He's not answering. Okay. But he has asked a question just in the chat.
After this, also Prabhupada made a trip. You see in the video, right? This is 1975. 66, 67 also Prabhupada made a trip. Still, end of this breath, he was traveling. So this is 8th travel. We are talking about 8th world trip. Prabhupada made after that 2 more trips. 8 years he made, I think 10 or 12, 10 years he made 12 trips. Some 8 or 8, this I know this is 8th. After that also he made another 2 years. Yes, that video probably you can share the link, you can see the year wise how many times he made it. Some devotees have traced back all the places Prabhupada went different years and they made that video.
Wonderful, bro. Okay. Anyone?
Okay, we'll stop here.
Time. If not, we'll stop here. Thank you.
Please forgive me if I have spoken anything beyond my capacity. I humbly seek all the Vaishnavas' blessings.
You have every authority to speak, Prabhu. You are the perfect serving Srila Prabhupada. Book distribution is a wonderful service you are doing. Thank you for that. You are really inspiration for all of us.
Vancha kalpatarupesha kripa sindhubhe vichaya. Paditam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Krishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
We'll close here. We'll meet you tomorrow. Hare